Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Father Gaming. Today I am here. I'm going to be doing another build tutorial. I did a build tutorial, I think back in chapter 2, season 1. But I decided that I would do another one, a little bit more advanced since I've gotten better and I know more things. Like basically, like I just know like more building styles now. So I just decided that I would make another one where I show different things. Sorry, my dogs are barking. Where I show different ways to build and everything like that. So first off, just the basics. There are walls, floors, ramps, and pyramids, triangles. You can pretty much call them whatever you want. But with walls, it's just, you know, a wall. You can make windows, doors. You can do this thing right here, whatever you want to call this. You can also kind of make it like this, like a little base. You can do a lot of different edits with it. You can make it very small. And then there's floors. You can pretty much edit any way you want, as long as you still have one platform left, so you can't just do this and kind of make it disappear. And then for ramps, you can pretty much just edit, and this is kind of difficult. It took me a while to learn how to edit ramps. But wherever the arrows are facing, that's what the shape is going to be. So if it's this way and then that, it's going to be just a ramp, and then it's going to turn. And then it's just like wherever the arrows are, that's what the shape is going to be and where direction it faces. And cones is kind of the same as the floors. You can edit up to 3 spaces, just not all 4 of them, to kind of make it disappear. If you just want to break it, you have to break it. So one of the most basic building styles, or building like just styles that people build, is called ramp brushes. Pretty much what ramp brushes are, it's pretty much you're building straight up, but instead of just doing ramps like this, you can do ramps with a wall. And then you pretty much want to build a ramp, and then when you're about halfway up the stair, place a wall behind it, but you have to kind of look down a little bit. And as you see, I'm kind of like placing more builds under it. There's like a lot of different ways you can do it. And another way you can do it is like this. You pretty much do it, but you have a floor as well. And then there's an even more advanced way, where what you do, I actually haven't done it in a while, but you want to build up, and then you want to go like this. And you can, and it places all of these somehow. It uses a lot of mats, so I don't suggest using it unless you're in creative. But what you want to do is you want to kind of go off the ramp a little bit, like this, like at the very top. You want to place a ramp. You kind of want to place the ramp like you're about to go up, place a floor, place a wall, and place another ramp. I messed up on that one actually. But it's actually really effective, but I don't suggest using it unless you're, like I said, you're in creative and you have like infinite mats, because it uses so many materials. Like just that right there that I did, you can see for each one it uses 1, 2, 3, 40 mats. For each of those, it's like 20. That would have used so many mats, so I obviously don't suggest using it. Except for maybe like once or twice, unless you're in creative with like infinite materials. And then those are all the ramp brushes you can do. You know, you can practice those and get good at them. And then the next thing that a lot of people do are 90s. What the 90s are is you're building, and then you turn a 90-degree angle. You build walls like this, and then you jump and build a floor or a ramp. And you can pretty much do them as fast as you can. And it's pretty much just a way to go straight up without having to just build ramps. And then there's different ways you can do 90s. You can do it like this, where you place like 2 extra walls. You can do it like I was doing a second ago, where you just place these 2. You can do it like this. Wait, hold on, let me try that again. But you can pretty much do it like this, where you kind of like box in the whole thing, where you place a floor too. You can also do it like this, where you spin around completely, but that uses more mats and it's kind of slower. And it's not really 90s, it's 180s. You can also do it left, like if you're left-handed, it's easier sometimes, depending on like what your dominant hand is. Mine's obviously right. I'm right-handed, so it's kind of hard to do it when you're turning left. And then I'm not really sure what to call this. This is kind of just something I started doing sometimes. Well, I kind of used to do it, but I don't really do it anymore. But you do like a ramp rush, you do a 90, you place a floor and a pyramid, and you edit them. But I mostly only do it in creative when I have a lot of mats. See, I haven't done it in so long that it's kind of hard to do it. But I don't really do it, like I said, I don't really do it anymore. And if I do, I would do it in creative when I have infinite mats so that I don't use up all of my materials. And then the next thing you can do is called tunneling, or pretty much, actually let me get up a little bit. Pretty much what you want to do is when you're building up, you can kind of like level out like this, how I have just the flat floors and everything. You can place like walls around you like this, and then you can pretty much edit them, and you make like a tunnel with your builds. And you can drop down like this if you need to, and you pretty much want to, like each time you turn, you want to go like this. And sometimes it just depends on like what direction you're going, because you can do it where you like turn and everything too. You can do it just kind of straight like this, and then go straight like this, or you can do it kind of sideways where you turn. It just depends on how you want to do it, and also like what position your teammates and your enemies are in. There's also different tunneling where you do it like this. I actually haven't done this yet. I've just seen other people do it, but you pretty much do this where you tunnel but you're going upwards. It's actually really hard to master. Like, I got the first two correctly, but then after that I kind of started messing up. But there's like tunneling, there's 90s, there's ramp rushes, all different kinds of building. There's also where you can kind of like build sideways. It's kind of just a strategy, but it's like, I don't know how that happened. It's kind of like ramp rushing, but you have 2 ramps. So it's like twice the work to break all the stuff. I'm not sure why that wall is placing, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Kind of just like the ramp rushes, the 90s, and all that. Tunneling also. Tunneling is a big thing that pros like to use now, as like in tournaments mostly. If there's a ton of people in like the final circle, tunneling is a good thing because you can like move forward, but you're also not completely out in the open like this, just placing some walls. You're fully boxing. And then obviously whenever you need a heal or anything like that, you can kind of just do this. Also there's waterfalls, which is kind of hard to do, but you want to like kind of go off the side of a build, and what you want to do is you want to place walls like this. I messed up. I went through the floor, but what you have to do, you can also do it with ramps, but you basically want to jump off and then place a ramp like this so you can go down without having to use the mats to just go like this. So you don't have to just do this. You can, jump off of your builds. Those are also kind of hard to learn. I had to spend a very long time in creative to learn how to do it. And that's pretty much all that there is to building. There's like 90s. Like I said, tunneling also helps with everything. It just depends on like what you like to do when you build. But there's tunneling, 90s, ramp rushes. It's pretty much all there is for the sequence, other than just like you build some ramps, you get shot at from somewhere else, you build random walls and everything like that. But that's pretty much all there is to it. So if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you guys next time.